Most traders lose because they start with the entry. They see one order block, one fair value gap, one candle rejection, and they immediately think, okay, this is gonna be my trade. But what if I tell you that that is actually wrong? Because before I take any trade, I need three things to line up: context, location, and confirmation. Context tells me the direction, location tells me where I want to be looking at, and the confirmation is when I start taking the entry. I want you guys to stay until the end because I know some of you guys have a problem with location, with confirmation, with the context, and in this video, I will be sharing you guys every single one of them with in-depth detail. So let's get to the charts. Now, looking to the charts over here, we are going to be moving on to context first. Now, what does context actually means? Context can just mean your market direction, the overall market sense. So looking into gold currently with what we're seeing right now, I know that there's a lot of things that people are saying. It might be bullish, it might be bearish, but if we're going to be looking to the daily time frame, the most simple way for you guys to get your context is just zoom in slightly, because you have to understand that if you want to be looking at the daily, the weekly, the monthly, you should be a swing trader. And if you guys are a day trader like me, or if you guys are a scalper, then yeah, like the previous 5 candles, the previous 5 daily candles is more than enough. So let's do our top-down analysis, okay? So what I like doing is I always start my monthly. This is going to be my context. So looking to the monthly, obviously it's bullish, right? But you want to be looking at the previous 1 or 2 candles. So looking to the monthly, there's nothing much we can say other than the fact that we have this big gigantic candle over here. That is enough for us to say that there is a bearish structure, because if we activate our OHLC, which I like to call the Sharingan eyes, you would get something like this. You get yourself a breakout in a lower time frame. And if you guys want me to make a video about how to activate your Sharingan eyes and to see the very clean OHLC, comment down below and I'll be making that video soon. So now the next step after getting the monthly context, we want to be going to the weekly. What do we see in the weekly? Remember guys, just focus on what you currently have and look into the weekly. The past week, last week, is that we kind of closed a little bit of a range market, because if you try to draw how the market moved over here, is just going sideways. So at least we now have this context where the monthly is having some slight sell-off. In a weekly time frame, we're having a range market. So when we approach this in a day trading standpoint, we already do know that we want to be careful when it comes to taking entry and putting your take profits. You don't want to be putting your take profits too high because the market is just ranging, right? It's called a mean reverting day. Now, after you got your weekly context, I would like to put it over here. So context, the monthly time frame is obviously in somewhat a slight bear hint. And in the weekly time frame, we currently have a ranging market. And now we want to be seeing the daily. And remember guys, daily, weekly, monthly are going to be my only 3 time frames for context, since these are going to be the best time frames in identifying market direction. So the next step that I did over here is I just went to the daily time frame and look into the daily. What do we guys see? It's very slightly simple, because we know we have a sell structure right here, created a buy structure, and immediately created a sell-off right now. So currently, with what we're currently seeing is that we do have a floor over here for gold. So that means as long as gold is above this high, it's pretty good for buys. But right, if we have a daily close under, we might potentially see a next push all the way down to these levels. So if we have a daily closing right here, we might have a slight pullback and potentially go down to these levels. So now I do know that my daily direction is leaning a little bit more onto that bearish structure. Before we move on, if you want to be knowing how I actually get the market context live every single Monday, I actually do have a free weekly webinar. Yes, I said it's free. Every Monday in my free Discord. All you gotta be doing is joining, pressing the link down below, and I'll see you guys there in our free weekly webinar. So now there are 3 main levels that I really specifically look at, and for gold, I'll be sharing you guys one of them, okay? Because I share the main things in my mentorship group, and we're currently running a mentorship right now. It's only limited to 3 members every single month, because I want the circle to be small, where I really guide you guys step by step on how I view the market, all my entry confirmations, all my entry locations, and my entire PropFirm models that allowed me to get multiple payouts like this. If you want to be applying, open a ticket inside the free Discord server and I will be replying to you. So now for the location, what is my favorite location type for gold? This is what I'd love to call the SNR. So this is what I'd like to see, the V and A shape pattern. So how you can do that is, I know it might be a little bit hard to mark. All you're going to be doing is just go to the 4 hours time frame. Now, when I look for my locations, don't look for levels in the daily time frame. Don't do that. If you want to be following how I do it, Don't look levels in the daily time frame. Only look at the 4 hours or the 1 hour time frame. Those two are the perfect cherry on top if you're a beginner. The 4 hours and the 1 hour time frame is the best levels for you guys to be looking for a level. So now we're running a little bit into the replay mode, and what I like to be doing is that if I'm in the 4 hours time frame, I really want to be zooming in somewhat like this. So I did change my chart to Saxo because there's no gaps right now, so it does look a lot cleaner. So what I like to be doing is I love using the levels that I like to call the V&A pattern. So this SNR point right here is a perfect level which I really look for buys. Also right here, if there's confirmations, I look for buys in this level. Now remember, I'm in the 4 hours time frame. You can always have some refinements in the 1 hour time frame as well, like this. Especially over here, you can see how much rejections that we're currently having. As well over here, you can see there is a left shoulder and there is a head pattern as well. Those are one of my levels too. So what I like doing is if you're a beginner, you can just simply turn on your line chart and find your V&A pattern. So if you see somewhat like this, a very sharp A, that is where you want to be marking your levels. Like this, a very sharp A, you want to be marking your levels. A very sharp V, you want to be marking your levels. Now, you can see that even marking them yourselves, but just going to the line chart, you can see that there is a V-shaped pattern just over here. And what the market ended up doing is that the market pulled back over here and just had a massive rally, right? Same goes for this, right? You're like, yo, what do you mean? You're such a scammer, you know, like market pumped to the upside. But you have to understand what happened. When the market pumped over here, it pretty much dropped all the way over 70 pips before reversing to the upside. Come on, guys. You guys can make money with 70 pips. Now, these are one of my favorite locations that I like using, even for this one as well. That's why we want to be filtering it with the third step, which is what I like to call the confirmation. So now I know you guys are going to be asking me, what is my entry confirmation? Well, I want to be giving you guys a gift. I'll be sharing you guys one of my favorite, most simple that even a beginner can follow, even my grandma can follow. So what I like doing is you want to be finding your V&A shape pattern. Okay. Remember guys, we already know our context. Monthly, slightly bear. Weekly is a ranging market. And the daily is a bearish structure. And yes, I want you guys to stay until the end because I am going to be showing you guys a real live trade with order flow, how I also use context, location, confirmation. Now we're going to be going back to the charts, looking into this one. I want to be looking into a specific confirmation. So we now have our specific, very clean level right here. Okay, obviously go to your line chart, you got a pattern. What we want to be doing is waiting for price to tap to this level. Now, when prices tap to your level, there are two things that I like to follow. I want to see a sudden market structure shift, an instant shift, okay? Because that's when you know that there is very strong market participants that are entering your level, is that when you have suddenly prices tap, an immediate double candle engulfing pattern. A first engulfing, the second candle engulf with a lot of volatility. When you start seeing like this can be the time where you start taking your entry. Now, what other people would do is they would just immediately have a direct entry right here. But the secret to have a much better entry is I don't think there is volume here in Saxo. So let's go to Owanda. What I like doing is after you got your confirmation like this, I want you guys to be grabbing your volume profile, dragging it like this, and you want to be looking for an area within this value. So looking to this right now, you want to be marking your levels inside value. So everything inside this value level is going to be the cleanest level where you can start looking for buys. So this entire buy level, you can set your limit, short position, stop loss above this value, and minimum target of 1:2. Okay, something like this. A blind, beautiful 1:2 are our target. Now, once you do, you just gotta wait, and you can see market came back all the way to that value area right here, and then market beautifully just smash or take. And again, if you want to be seeing me do this live with a full market context, join the free Discord down below and let's try to jump to the live trade. So look into the screen. This is going to be a live trade recording of me trading my Tradify account, and we can pretty much see how clean it looks. So remember guys, the context, location, confirmation. So overall, my context here for NQ is I'm pretty much bullish because the market direction is more leaning to the upside. It's pretty much skewed to the upside in the higher time frame. Now this time, since we are a scalper, we won't be looking in the lower time frame to have a good probable location. So the next step that I did here is I made sure to look for a very clean location. So you can see that the market is currently running right here, and you guys see that I'm not executing anything yet. I know that there's a lot of market structure shift and everything. I did not execute, because the only time you want to be executing is in your specific location. If you have confirmation somewhere else in the market, where let's say you have a zone like this, okay, hypothetically, imagine you have a zone right here. Let's go over here. Imagine you have a zone right here, and then the market gave you this confirmation right here. Do not take this trade. No, don't do that. The amount of times I lost because I took a trade here, the market just ends up doing this, goes down to my level, and then gives me this. The whole idea of this is you don't want to be executing until you are in your level. Do not execute until you are in your level. So now if we're going to be playing this out, you can see that currently I do have multiple levels that I wanted to participate. One is going to be the previous day close, the previous day high, and our famous low volume node levels that I pretty much marked. So this one right here, let's try to play this out right here. You can see that once market came to our specific levels, I started looking for some type of execution, right? You can see right here, I did not pull the trigger yet. I waited for confirmation. Because remember, guys, we have the context, we now have the location, and the only thing that I needed is confirmation. So I was kind of waiting for this, right? I was looking into the absorption here from market participants. So let's just kind of play this out right here. I did not take any trade yet here until we got this. So once we got this, remember guys, we are still inside our level. You can see all these yellow boxes, right? All these yellow levels right here. Those are my point of interest, which I'm looking for a position. So you can see when the market closed like this, what do we see? A green delta on this candle. That means there's more buyers in this candle. Okay, when there's more buyers in the candle and the candle closed green, and we had a lot of sellers here. So your candle is showing that there's so much sellers on the bottom that these sellers are getting trapped. This is what I like to call an absorption. So when I kind of saw this, I took my immediate entry. We have our context, location, our confirmation, so everything's perfect. I held that trade. I took an entry again. I think I kind of exited that a little bit sooner. I'm like, wait, I don't like this contracts that I was using. So look into this right now. You can see that we're risking 150 to be making 300. That's over 2 RR. So you can see right here that the trade is pretty much running. Just wait, just stay with me right here. There's some juicy stuff near the end. So you can see it's running. I'm ready in break even for this trade right here. So let's just play it out, right? I am in break even. And then we had another pump. Look, I'm pretty much targeting the external high target, the IVB high. So now I'm currently up 2 RR now from 150 risk. And I want you guys to pay attention to what I did over here. Okay, this is how I manage my trade. So once I saw this, right? Once I saw this, I immediately moved my stop loss under here. So 271, this is going to be a 1.5 RR profit. I immediately moved it on a trailing break even. I did not put my stops on break even. I placed it on break even first. But when I saw market create structure, I immediately placed my stops under. This is how you guys should manage your trade. So I placed my stops slightly under this level, right? Did get hit here on break even, and I started looking for another re-entry. So now the next level again, before I take my entry, remember guys, there's some confirmation in here, but I did not take my entry yet because I waited for something, which was location. So now this is going to be my location again for another re-entry. If you are my student, I'm sure you guys know the level that I'm talking about. So now let's kind of wait on what's happening right here. And you can see that I did not execute yet. I did not look into the footprint. I waited for prices to tap to my level. So when prices tap to my level, I started to see some fluctuations in the market. When I saw that, I waited for prices to give me a confirmation. You see me zoom in, but there was no confirmation yet. So I did not execute. I did not do anything. I was just waiting, right? I did not execute. You see that? I was just waiting. I know the market's running, but I have no FOMO, guys. Guys, no FOMO. I know the market's pumping. I had zero FOMO here. I was waiting until the market came back to my level again. And what do we see? I wanted to see this candle close green right here. I was waiting. Very clean price action here, by the way. And the candle closed green. So you can see when the candle closed green, I immediately took my entry because we can see that the candle closed green, a lot of sellers over here. So those are absorbed sellers in the bottom of the candle. So when I saw that, I immediately took my entry, stop loss just right below this wick right here. And then where was I targeting? IVB high. The main target was IVB high. So I was risking $145 to be making $322. That is pretty much a 2.2 RR trade. So you can see I took my entry. I'm ready to break even for this trade right here. And market ran all the way and just smashed my TP. Very clean. If you guys want to see me apply this live every single week, make sure you guys join the free weekly webinar inside the free Discord. Link is going to be in the bio down below. I'll be breaking down the market, the exact context I'm looking at, the locations that I care about, and even the entry confirmations that I need before taking the trade. And if you guys want more videos like this, make sure you guys subscribe. Press the link down below to join the free Discord. Give me a comment on what type of content you guys want to be seeing next. And don't forget to like this video for more bangers. And I'll see you guys soon. JCC Trades out.